Morning everybody. Thank you for being here so early on this bright summer's morning. Apologies for the slight delay. We had a small technical hitch before we got started, but hopefully that gave you a little bit longer to enjoy your breakfast. We're here today to talk about the 10 vital ingredients for a successful new or emerging business. Now, these 10 vital ingredients were identified in a huge survey of owner-managed businesses that was undertaken many years ago. And we're going to work our way through each of those 10. And if I might just introduce myself first, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Malcolm Palmer. I'm the managing partner of A4G. We are a firm of chartered accountants and business advisors on the A20 at West Kingsdown. 15 years ago, I was running a very small practice over the top of a hairdresser's in a little village down the road, just taking it over from a man who'd run it for about 30 years. He didn't believe in computers, so there wasn't one bit of technology in the whole place. There was only 6 of us back then. 15 years later, there's 35 people that work within our practice. 11 of those are qualified accountants or tax advisors. Number of trainees within the firm. So we've grown at a regular pace throughout those whole 15 years. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is not to brag about the fact that we've grown over that time, but it's just to let you know that I've lived through all of these 10 points that we're going to go through today. So let's start with what, for all of you, might be the easiest of the 10 points. Industry knowledge. Now, pretty much all of you are the owner-managers of businesses, and I don't know how you came to be in that position. For some of you, it may have come out of necessity, got made redundant. Others, it might be that you got fed up with working for somebody else and you decided that you could do it much better. For a friend of mine called Keith, who's sadly no longer with us, it was that he turned up for work as usual on a Monday morning to find out that his boss had been sent to prison on a Friday afternoon. So out of necessity, Keith became an owner-manager. Now, whatever reason it is that you started your business, it's important that you've got a significant amount of knowledge about your industry. And one of the things that you should have very clear in your head is what your unique selling point is. Your unique selling point is the thing about your business that is different or better than all of your competitors around you. If you know what that is, then you know what you can focus on in terms of getting new business. Clearly, this particular slide was written a few years ago. Is your market growing or contracting? I guess for most people in this room at this current time, the market is contracting. And that's important to know because that will determine how you approach getting new business, how you need to price things. At the moment, I guess, for everybody, it's all pretty competitive out there. You've got to keep up to date with all the new regulations and laws. If you worked for another business in that industry previously, maybe somebody did that for you. But things move on, and get on the wrong side of some of the industry regulations, then that could finish your business off. But perhaps most importantly, once you're on your own, you've got nobody around you to keep you up to date with how the industry is developing. And it's very easy to become quite insular and just do things the way that you've always done them. We're members of a group called 2020 Consulting, which has about 1,000 of the most forward-thinking accountancy practices as members of it. We go off to conferences that they run, training sessions, focus groups, and that enables us to keep ahead, to find out the best practices in our industry. So even though you might have had 20, 30 years in the industry that you're in, your industry will be evolving all the time, and it's crucial that you stay ahead. Okay, let's get on to some of the more technical stuff. Number 2 in the list of the 10 vital ingredients is having a written plan. Now, some of you might have attended the Javelin Business Strategy Seminar conference that we did a few years ago. And if you did, you'll have heard me tell you the story of a survey that took place at Yale University. And what they did is they took every single student that joined that year and they asked them a whole range of questions. They asked them about their beliefs, they asked them about their family backgrounds. They also asked about their academic levels. I mean, everybody that goes to Yale is pretty high up the spectrum academically, but some might be higher than others. And what they then did is they then tracked all of these people for the next 20 years of their careers. And they then analysed the successes of those people based on some of the answers that they'd given. They found that the family background made no difference to how successful they'd been. They found that their academic ability had made no difference to how successful they'd been. But there was one particular criteria that had made a massive difference. The 3% of people that had done it had accumulated more wealth in 20 years than the 97% that hadn't. And what it was that those 3% had at the time that they took the initial survey, which was when these were 19, 20-year-olds, was that they had a plan and they'd written it down. And of all the things that you need to have when you've got a business, a written plan is the most important thing. Now, I'm not talking about the sort of business plan that you need to write if you want to get somebody to lend you some money or if you want to get somebody to invest in your business. I'm just talking about a clear set of plans and how you're going to achieve those. Now, referring back to that Javelin Business Strategies conference again, I was the warm-up act for a friend of mine, Steve Backley. And Steve gave us a really good insight into the way that top athletes think about things. And the way most of those think is that first thing they think about is what they want their outcome to be. What is it that they want to achieve? Now, this applies equally in business. So where is it that you want to be in 5 years' time? It doesn't have to be 5 years, it might be 20 years, it might be shorter term than that. In the current climate, it may be that your outcome goal is you just want to still be in business in 12 months' time. But that's what should get you up in the morning, that's your motivation. But having that outcome goal in mind won't actually achieve anything. The next thing you need to do is identify the performance goals that you need to reach in order to hit that outcome. Now, in business, those performance goals are normally set in numbers. So they might be sales targets for the business. They might be a certain number of new customers that you take on every single month. For one of my clients, one of his performance goals is 5 telephone calls a day to potential customers. Set some of these performance goals, and if you hit those, you should achieve your outcome. What we've done for a lot of our clients over the last 12 months is we have worked out what their break-even analysis for them, because the thing that they're most worried about is that they're losing money. So actually their performance goals at the moment for many of those businesses are simply the figures that they need to hit in order to break even. We've then put those figures into their accounting system as budgets so that every month they can actually compare how they're doing against the performance goals that they need to achieve. But again, goals in themselves won't actually achieve anything. They're just what you're aiming for. It's actually the individual things that you need to do in order to hit those performance goals that you've got to work out. And some of those things might be very simple. Some of those things might simply be go to bed an hour earlier, get up an hour earlier. Might be sit down with a member of staff who's underperforming, who's causing problems for your business. It might be bigger than that. It might be move premises. It might be sack a partner. It might be something that's much more significant. Now, what I want you to think about is I just want to picture yourself. I just want you to picture yourselves at the bottom of a mountain, looking up that mountain. And if you at the top of the mountain, that is your outcome. Might be that it's going to take you 5 years to get to the top of that mountain, or it might be a shorter period. But there you are standing at the bottom. Halfway up the mountain are all the performance goals that you need to achieve, that performance level. And around you are a whole number of items that are sitting in the snow. Bits of litter, if you like, that you've got to pick up. Maybe 30, 40, 50 of those things. Those are your process goals. Those are the individual things that you've got to do on a day-to-day basis. If you do those things, you will hit the level of performance that you need to be at, and you'll achieve your outcome. Now what I want you to do is just imagine you're looking down on yourself. So there you are, standing in the middle of all these bits of litter all around you. And then you notice that there's a line. And that line is your inside, and that line is a wavy line that joins up at the end, sort of a cloud shape. And inside that line are some of these bits of litter. And outside that line are other bits of litter. Does anybody know what that line represents? No? That's your comfort zone. Anybody who's running a business will have some of the things that they need to do that they are comfortable doing. It might be that they're quite comfortable dealing with the financial aspects of the business, but they're not comfortable going and talking to potential customers. If you don't move that line so that it includes everything within it, your business will fail. What that means in reality is you've got to step outside your comfort zone and do some of those other things. If you do that, you automatically move your comfort zone. Once you've done things a few times, they become things that you're comfortable with. But we have a number of clients within our business that we've tried really hard to get them to do the things that will turn the business around. And they just want to stick to doing the things that they're good at. And ultimately, those businesses will fail. It may happen over a period of months, it may happen over a period of years, but they will fail. So you've got your list of all the things that you need to do in order for your business to succeed. And all you need now to do is work out the resources that you're going to need, whether those premises, people, cash flow, etc. Okay, so we've got a plan. Let's move on to some of the aspects of it.